Hello there, welcome to this pick a card reading for the week beginning on September 6th. Now this week we are in Virgo season. It's very strong Virgo energy because we have the Mercury retrograde in Virgo. So Mercury moved retrograde in Virgo on August 24th. It will move direct on September 16th. So we're in the midpoint. In fact, on Wednesday, on the 6th, the Sun and Mercury will conjunct. So we're in that midpoint of the Mercury retrograde. I've done a separate video on the Mercury retrograde because it's such a powerful transit, particularly because it's in Virgo. Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. It's also an exaltation in Virgo. So it's in its most optimal position. It's in its most powerful position. And so we are at the most powerful point of time to utilize this energy for creating and changing our minds, changing our thought habits, changing our unconscious programming for the purpose of creating our reality, for shifting our focus and our beliefs to create a new reality. So that's what's possible for you this week, to be engaging in the energy of creating your reality. Now, last week on September 4th, Venus moved direct. Venus has been doing a retrograde in Leo since July the 23rd, and now she's moving direct this week. So we're still in that post-retrograde shadow. We're still feeling into this Venus retrograde energy. Again, I've done a separate video with a separate tarot card reading for each zodiac sign on that Venus retrograde energy, but we're starting to see some forward momentum in what we've created. So we've got this beautiful overlapping energy of the heart space, the mind space, utilizing both of these components of our being to create a reality for ourselves, to create change, something new, something fresh, a new personality, a new character, a new life, really. So that's what's available this week. Now this week we have three piles. With pile number 1, Ascension, pile number 2, Love, pile number 3, The Warrior. So take your time, feel into each pile, see which one resonates with you, which one you identify with, and I will see you in your reading.
Before we move into the readings, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I am working from today, the Kumbengi people, and I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. I recognize their continued connection to the land and their culture, and that this is and always will be Aboriginal land.
Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your pick a card reading for the next 7 days starting on September 6th. You chose the card of Ascension. Now this card really is an indicator. It's a nod from the universe that your hard work is paying off, that you have done really well in the recent retrograde period that we've been under. So we are just coming out of the Venus retrograde that started on July 23rd, and Venus just moved direct on Monday on September 4th. And we'll start to build some momentum there with that Venus retrograde. Now, I do recommend that you go and watch my Venus retrograde video. I go into all the details and how to utilize this energy. And I have a different tarot card reading for each zodiac sign. So that's really helpful if you want to work deliberately with this. But this card, like I said, is telling you that you've put in the effort, you've put in the work, and you are ascending, you're moving forward into a higher state of consciousness, into a higher way of being, and reaching your true potential, really. With the Venus retrograde, it was asking us to open our heart chakra, to open our heart space, and to allow ourselves to be heart-led during this time, and learning about how that feels to be heart-led and how it feels to follow our hearts and feel our way through life from that really genuine, pure heart space. And if that has been something that's been challenging for you, before now, that could be something where you've ascended that aspect of yourself, and now the possibilities that are open to you when you have an open heart is incredible. It's exciting to see. There is a need to integrate this energy now, okay? So now Venus is moving direct, it's moving forward, and until about mid-October, we really have this opportunity. Now, all the lessons that you've learned with that Venus retrograde since July, you can start to cement that in, which what that means is practicing it in real time, integrating it into your real life, into your physical reality. So sometimes when we have these ascensions, we can get stuck on clearing and uplifting and doing the spiritual side of things, and we forget to integrate it into our physical reality, into our daily life, which then that results in spiritual bypassing. That's what that is. That's what it looks like. So remembering that you have done the work on the internal level, but it's now about going out into the real world and making that a part of your real life, your real world life, so that you're operating in that mode consistently and for the foreseeable future. The Four of Cups, the Ace of Coins, and the Ten of Cups. Like I said, there's this integration that needs to take place. So where the universe is offering you, the universe is acknowledging your efforts, is acknowledging your strength and what you have achieved, and what you have achieved on the internal level. But we do need to create this space of non-resistance, okay? So if you have done it on the internal level during this time, especially through August, because as well we've got the Mercury Retrograde. Now, Mercury went retrograde on the 24th of August and will be retrograde for this whole week. So we're dealing with these two personal retrogrades, personal planets in retrograde. There's a very deep, introspective, interpersonal, very like the work that we have doing over this time period is so profound. It's going to change our lives for the better. 10 of Cups. You have the ability, like I said, to tap into that open heart space and access pure joy, pure love, really allowing your heart to take the lead. 10 of Cups, to bring in and draw in, magnetize yourself to a life worth living, a life that makes you really happy. But you need to be able to see what's being offered to you. 4 of Cups. If you cannot see this at this time, if you're still stuck in the murkiness of this ascension, because ascensions are not easy, ascensions do require us to move through the mud, through the dirt, and grow up into something more pure, something more beautiful. Ace of Coins. So there is, if you're still stuck in that space and not really seeing what's on offer for you here, it's about turning around. Look, she's looking at these empty cups and not seeing this beautiful cup that's available for her. So there's something available for you this week, something that can bring you a lot of joy, but recognizing, look, she has her back turned to this 10 of Cups. She's also looking at the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Coins, sorry. This is beautiful potential, something potentially that you can start to nurture now during this week. You can start to feel it taking form, or start to really be aware of it. But if you notice her face as she's looking at that Ace of Coins, she doesn't seem very impressed by it. She's not too happy about it. So we need to integrate the two aspects of ourselves. We need to integrate the physical. We need to integrate the heart, a heart space and a physical reality coming together, remembering the purpose to be heart-led, and feel your way into what you are trying to achieve for yourself throughout this week. This card, again, 3 of Swords, integration. So for you this week, integration is the key buzzword. There is this integration taking place, this melding, this molding, this healing of your heart space, this bringing it all back together, stitching it all back together for the purpose of feeling more joy, feeling more ease and more happiness, following your heart. If you're not resonating with that following your heart storyline that I've been talking about, that's your work here, okay, during this week, is to really tap into that heart space. It requires courage, the Chariot. It does require the courage to step out of into the unknown, okay? Especially if you're looking at developing this Ace of Coins, whatever this Ace of Coins is for you, whatever potential you've got your eyes set on, it will not grow without this open-heartedness. So we need both a coherent mind and an open heart to manifest anything that we want. And that's what you're ascending into. That's what's available to you. But it requires courage. It requires bravery, because the heart leads us into things that Well, oftentimes the heart will lead us into things that the mind is not comfortable with because it's unfamiliar. So if you're stepping out into the unfamiliar now, it's a really beautiful time to be starting to do that, looking at that. We're moving into a new moon next week in Virgo, which will be connected to this Mercury retrograde. This is an upliftment of your thought habits, an upliftment of the way you see things, of the perspective that you're viewing things from, the Four of Cups. The perspective that you're viewing things on can be uplifted, can be ascended during this time, but it does require a little bit of discomfort, okay? Three of Swords reversed. We're moving through the discomfort, not avoiding the discomfort, not resisting it. The reason the discomfort's there is because it's unfamiliar. The Chariot is because it's not something that your mind can categorize, and it's not something that is that your body knows how to respond to. But it doesn't mean that it's bad for you. It's just that the body is conditioned to always being responsive to the things that it knows, that it's familiar. So unfamiliar, uncertain, feeling uneasy during this time is probably a good thing for you this week. It means you're pushing your boundaries, pile number 1. To reach Queen of Coins potential, okay? So this is moving straight from the Ace of Coins to the Queen of Coins. On the bottom of the deck, we have the High Priestess. So this is a very intuitive process. It is a very intuitive process, like I said, with the Venus retrograde, the Mercury retrograde that we are engaging with. It really is very personal, very deep work that we're doing. It's not working on the external, it's working on the inside, building a life for ourselves on the inside, and then allowing that to be reflected on the outside. So this is following your intuition, following your heart, following the guidance that you are receiving during this week. You may be getting a lot of downloads, feeling a lot of, getting, especially if you're meditating with the Mercury retrograde, it's a great time to be meditating. So if you're meditating and you're receiving a lot of information, recognize that is helping you to achieve this ascension and this open-heartedness so that you can become the Queen of Coins. Now, the Queen of Coins is someone who is a master of their domain. She is the ruler of her physical realm. She has all of her needs met. The purpose of the Queen of Coins is to meet all of her own needs and have no need to worry about anything, where anything comes from. She is the ultimate abundance mindset. Scarcity doesn't even enter her mind or enter her head because it is not a part of her reality. It is not something that she's experienced. It's not something that she could even understand, because from her perspective, the universe always flows more and more, better and better things to her. So therefore, she doesn't have to hold on tight. If you notice, she's not holding on to this coin tightly. She's just got a very loose grip on it because she realizes and she understands that these coins will continue to come to her. She can always create more, and there's no need to be worrying about it. She's very peaceful. She's very calm because all of her needs are met. And that is where you're ascending to, and that's the possibility that you can tap into this week through that access to your heart center, to your heart space. Clean it up. So if there's anywhere in your life that is feeling different to what I've just been describing with this Queen of Coins, if you're feeling a sense of lack, if you're feeling uneasy about resources or circumstances or love or anything that you need, okay, this is an emotional or physical need. You need this to be successful, but possibly that's why you're looking at this Ace of Coins with that kind of sensation, it's that not really being very excited about it is because you need it to work. It needs to manifest into your life. And that's that tight grip. When we feel like we really need it or all else is lost, we start to come from that approach, from that lacking mindset. When we start to get a tight grip on things, we enter into this Three of Swords kind of energy. So remembering to clean up anywhere where there's a feeling of lack, clean up where you are offering vibrations that are keeping you in resistance to your Ten of Cups, to your joy. A really beautiful way of tapping into this energy and into your heart space is feelings of joy. The heart is the creative center. It's how we create. It's how we access solutions and creative solutions, and it comes through that feeling of inspiration, joy, and love. So anything you can do this week to tap into those emotions will be very helpful and will help you to clean up ways that you are holding yourself apart. It is time to surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. So if this is a challenging week for you this week, again, like I said at the beginning, recognizing this is all a part of the ascension that you're going through. So ascensions can be very painful because we are unraveling and we are being forced to really look at our shit and look at the ways we're holding ourselves back, the ways we're keeping ourselves separate from our joy, from our love, from our being the queen of coins. We're looking at that, and sometimes the only way to ascend, or oftentimes the only way to ascend, is to go through the hardest times that really cause you to look within, really cause you to start listening to that internal dialogue, listening to that voice within the high priestess, because it's trying to shift you onto your soul's path, onto your soul's journey. But there are things that need to be cleaned up that are keeping you stuck, keeping you, Four of Cups, stuck and away, like looking away from the path you're supposed to be moving towards. So these are lessons. They're lessons and they are fleeting. They're fleeting lessons that you can overcome. Okay, this has been designed for your ascension and you are safe and you have all that you need. It's simply a shift in mindset. So working with that Mercury retrograde, I've done a Mercury retrograde video with a tarot card reading for each zodiac sign. Go and look at that because you can work with that Mercury retrograde this week. Work with that video because it tells you how to do that and uplift your thought habits for the purpose of your ascension and moving more towards your soul's path, your soul's journey. We have, you are an eye. Use this higher aspect of yourself to redeem your shadow aspects. So this is about, looking at those toxic processes, looking at unconscious processes that are holding you back from your soul's journey. This is really about integrating yourself with your inner being, your higher self, to ascend. So as we become more and more of a vibrational match to our higher selves, to our inner being, the shadow sides of things there's two ways it can go. The shadow sides of things can start to disintegrate, start to dissolve, and we ascend more and more. It becomes our state of being. The more we practice it, the easier it is, the more automatic it is, the more habitual it is. And that's when we start living in alignment more fully for longer periods of time before we are knocked off our axis again. The other way that it can go is it can make our shadow sides appear stronger, appear more challenging, more harsh, because we've had a taste of that feeling of being in that higher vibration. So then when we drop into that lower vibration, it hurts so much more. It's a good sign. It's a sign that you are becoming more sensitive to energy. You're becoming more sensitive to your vibration. You're able to use your emotional guidance system with more accuracy. So it is a good sign, although I do admit, and this has happened to me quite a few times, it is very painful to try and navigate, and it does make you feel like you want to give up. But that when you do give up, you default back to your baseline setting, and then you have to start again. So trust me when I tell you, you've done the work with the Venus retrograde. You're being rewarded for the work you've done. This Mercury retrograde will end on September 16, so keep doing the work with the Mercury retrograde. Keep doing the heart-opening work of the Venus retrograde. And keep coming at the shadow side. Like I said at the beginning, don't bypass. Don't do spiritual bypassing. Integrate. Look at it. Be with it. Sit with it. Validate it and integrate it for the purpose of uplifting it, for the purpose of it being released into your being, it being released into the universe, and being that energy can then be utilized in a more positive and a more uplifting way. 10 of Cups. So there's a lot of work here. But it's all for the purpose of bringing you back into alignment with the direction you're meant to go. And the more that you do that, the faster the momentum will speed up, and the faster you will get to that path of where you're trying to get to, and things will start to manifest in your life if you keep going like that. So that is your reading for this week. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time here with me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Hi there, pile number 2. Welcome to your pick a card reading for the week beginning on September 6th. You have chosen the card of love. Okay, that's a really beautiful card to be engaging with this week, because on Monday, so on the 4th of September, Venus moved direct in Leo. So Venus has been doing a retrograde in Leo since July the 23rd. We've been engaging in a lot of heart space, heart opening, heart-led, loving energy. We've been working on that loving storyline. So this is an indicator that this card coming out for you is an indication that that's a really important storyline to continue. Even though Venus has moved direct, we're still in the post-retrograde shadow. And what happens when she moves direct is that you start to be able to integrate the lessons that you learned during the retrograde period into your physical life, into your physical reality. So this will be integrating the lessons you've learned around love. And that can mean something different for everybody. For most of you, it could be your love, your relationships, past, present, or future relationships, the people that you are in love with. It can mean self-partnering, self-generating. It can be loving yourself, tending to yourself, being more loving, speaking more loving. It can be love for your children, your friends, your family. It can be love in general, love for the world. So where you are in alignment with that and is going to be an indicator of how open your heart space is. And that's what that Venus retrograde has been about. It's been really encouraging us, really pushing us to open our heart space up more and more and more. And the people that have engaged in that, with that journey, the people that have been successful in that journey have experienced massive expansion in their heart space, in their heart energy, which is also the energy of creativity, okay? So they've been able to tap into that creative life force energy through the heart, being able to magnetize amazing things to them into their lives through their heart, or they will be able to through the work they've done in this retrograde period. The people that have been resisting that Venus retrograde energy have had a lot of heartache, have had a lot of heart problems in love and problems with their heart space and their creativity. So it really depends on where you sat with this, but this is an indicator to work with that energy. Now, I have done a Venus retrograde video. I'll link it down below. Highly recommend you go and watch that. Even though she's moved direct, we've still got another 6 weeks or so to really work with this energy, to integrate it into our lives, embed it in your daily lives, use it in your physical reality, so that it becomes a consistent pattern, so that it becomes a part of your state of being, and you can move forward with the lessons that this was all about. Judgment, Lovers, and the Wheel. 3 major arcana. Look at that. That's incredible. So this is a time of reflection. Okay, this is a time of being reborn, if that's where you are heading with this. So the other thing that's happening this week, we have the Mercury Retrograde. Now, Mercury moved retrograde on August 24th, and will move direct on September 16th. So for this whole week, we've got the Mercury Retrograde. We're still under the influence of Venus starting to move forward, so there's still that retrograde energy there too. These are 2 really personal planets we've been doing over August, doing this really deep personal work, this personal inner transformation. We have been uplifting ourselves, uplifting our emotions, uplifting our heart space, and uplifting our minds and our thoughts and our words, and therefore uplifting our beliefs and our actions. So this is an ascension type energy. For you, pile number 2, this is around your heart space, around love. There definitely could be a lover involved if you're single and you're looking for a lover. or looking for a partner, this could come into play this week. This week could be a week that happens. Or if you're in a relationship, it's definitely a time when you can deepen that connection, really feel the love from that connection, and ascend, be like reborn into that energy of love and appreciation and joy. This is a time when the wheel is turning for you. The wheel of fortune is turning in your favor. This is a time when we take the lessons with the wheel. You take the lessons that you've learned through that retrograde energy, through that deep reflection where you've been reflecting on your heart space, reflecting on your love language, reflecting on your attachment styles, all that kind of stuff, and uplifting that for the purpose of creating change. So with the wheel, when the wheels come in, it's telling us that the work that you have done during that Venus retrograde is being rewarded. You have made the appropriate shifts in your state of being. You've made the appropriate shifts in your body, in your heart, in your mind, and things are changing for the better for you. Pile number 2. Wow. The Empress and the Page of Cups. Another major arcana. This is a big week for you. Definitely, I feel that you have been doing the work. You've been tapping into that heart space. You've been coming from life with a really open heart, and you're starting to see the results of that. Now, you may be creating a magnificent relationship at this time. You may be really giving birth. There's 2 birthing energies, new beginnings coming in, giving birth to a whole new reality. If it's not a love relationship, it's a whole new reality for yourself, one that's more in line with your heart space, one that's more in line with your sense of love and joy. You're following your heart, you're following your heart's lead. This is really important at this time, is to let your heart lead the way, because your creative flow that you've got going on here is incredible. The work that you've done has put you into such a creative space. You can literally create anything that you want at this time, following your heart, and even if it seems ridiculous to you. I mean, if you look at this card, there's a flying pig on it, okay? It may seem completely ridiculous. Your mind may not be able to wrap itself around what you're creating here, but knowing that the heart has the potential, has way stronger than the mind when it is allowed to be open and allowed to be created from. When you're creating from that heart space, the possibilities are endless, they're infinite. Okay, so that's where you're at this week, literally tuning into your heart and allowing your heart to guide you, and using that energy to create whatever it is that you're trying to create is going to change your life, the Wheel of Fortune. Now, if this is a relationship, there could be communications. This is a very innocent, kind of sweet, loving communications coming from another person, or you're offering that to another person. I really like that for you. It feels pure. With this love card here, it feels pure. There's this pure love energy in your week for yourself for this week. Oh, I had to. Even though this would be the most incredible reading, this is the most incredible reading. This is so beautiful. But even though this 4 of Wands has come out in reverse, I feel like it's still a really positive energy. It may just indicate there is a little block in your in feeling safe to celebrate this at this point right now. Okay, so maybe there's a little bit of foreboding joy going on. It's just a little tiny bit. It's just kind of a side note. That just being aware that you're not foreboding joy. So sometimes when things start to go really well and we start to feel really excited about life and love is flowing and things are moving and there's a lot of satisfaction, 10 of coins on the bottom of the deck, there's a lot of really beautiful things happening in our lives, we can sort of hold ourselves back from really feeling into that space, feeling this way. If we have had past experiences where it hasn't worked out, or we've been knocked off that high-flying place, so we can sort of forebode joy. We can make joy feel not not allow ourselves to completely feel into the joy. So that's just a little tiny side note. Make sure that you are fully opening your heart, fully operating from the heart, and fully letting yourself experience the beauty of that feeling this week. Because the more you tap into that, I mean, yes, you may end up in the next few weeks coming back down to earth a little bit and not feeling that good. But while that energy is available to you, 100% tune into it, 100% give it your full heart, because the more you do that, the more you tell yourself that you are safe, the more you show yourself that you are safe in this world, in this universe, the more that these beautiful things can come through to you. This card, the Nine of Cups, is a wish fulfillment card. It's your wish come true. If this is a relationship, this person's coming in as an answer to your prayers. But it can be anything. Like I said, with the Empress card, you can create anything right now. It could be finances, it could be a stable life, a happy family. 10 of Coins. Literally, the world is at your feet this week. You can create anything you want as long as you're tapping into this beautiful heart space, this beautiful heart opening space. Look at the position of these two cards, these two women on these cards, with full open heart to the universe, allowing the universe to do its work, trusting that that energy of love will manifest in reality. New life. Yes, I love this for you, pile number 2. This is so beautiful. I'm really excited for this. You're literally being reborn, and you have almost like a blank slate, but it's not a blank slate, but it's almost like you are in a position where you can literally manifest anything you want. So really tapping into the energy of your true desires, Nine of Cups, of what will bring satisfaction, achievement, joy. Like 10 of Coins, that 10 of Coins solidarity, that security, that feeling of purpose and ease, and like the universe has your back. This is a new life for you coming in this week. It starts this week. We do have the new moon next week on September 15th, so that can be a time to really embed and start planting these seeds of intentions for this new life. But right now, you're accumulating all of that heart space energy. Your heart is the magnet, right? It's the magnet that draws reality to you. So when your mind sends out the signal, you have thoughts and you send out the signal, and the heart draws it in. So when your heart is fully open, you are fully magnetized to the new life that you're trying to create, to all of your hopes, dreams, and wishes. Your wishes coming true. Surrender to your intuition. Tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. Again, during this week, really just letting your heart take the lead, letting your heart lead, following your heart. When we need to surrender to our intuition, it's an indicator that your logical mind doesn't have a space right now. This week, there's no space for your logical mind to make decisions. It needs to be purely through your heart space, through your intuition, through that inner guidance, that inner knowing. And surrendering to that this week will bring you all of these amazing blessings that are coming out in the cards, following that sensation of love at the very beginning, so that you can, it's just so beautiful. You're going to have a really beautiful week. I'm so happy for you. Develop flexibility and aim to be in harmony in all environments. Well, that's that Venus energy. Venus really wants, Venus is the planet that aims for harmony. Her aim is to create harmony between you and everything around you. So we are in relationship all the time. We're in relationship with other people. We're in relationship with ourselves. We're in relationship with our inner being. We're in relationship with our environment. And so there's always relationships there, and we're always relating, and that part of that relationship part is the bit that Venus rules, and she's wanting to bring harmony through the energy of love. The flexibility comes in, like I said, about allowing your mind to take a back seat and your heart to take the lead, because there could be things that seem completely unrealistic that your heart's leading you towards, and there's this need to be a little bit flexible and trust. And be able to celebrate even if you can't really see how this is going to unfold for yourself, or you can't really understand how the universe could possibly deliver it. Just remaining flexible and trusting the universe and trusting yourself, trusting your heart. The more we trust our heart, the more we practice that, the more our heart will open and feel safe. So that is a beautiful reading for you. Have an incredible week, and please do feel free to leave a comment down below to tell me how this unfolds for you. I'd love to hear. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next reading, in the next video. Thank you. Hi there, pile number 3. Welcome to your pick a card reading for the week starting on September the 6th. You have chosen the card of the Warrior. Now, this card, when the Warrior comes out, it does indicate that you have a fight on your hands. The Warrior has a fight, is a fighter. So there could be some conflict that you're dealing with. I do feel drawn with this card to talk about Mars. Mars is currently traveling through Libra, and when Mars is in Libra, there is this feeling of fighting for justice, feeling of fighting for what's fair and what's right in the world. A lot of people will be feeling that energy at this time throughout this week, and during the time that Mars is in Libra. So that there may be a feeling of injustice happening for you during this week, and feeling like you need to stand up for yourself. Now, the fight may be internal. There is a lot of internal work that we're doing this week. We have Mercury in retrograde, so we're working on our thought processes, on our belief systems, on our communications. Venus just moved direct in Leo as well, so we're looking at our heart space, working on our heart space. Leo is a very fiery sign, so there can be a lot of passion coming through during this time for you. So these two personal planets being retrograde, and even though Venus is moving direct now, she's still moving slowly. We're in that post-retrograde shadow, so that retrograde energy is still active. There's a lot of internal work we've been doing, and if that's been challenging for you this week, you may feel that inner conflict coming out. And that could also indicate conflict with other people. But the great thing about the Warrior is the Warrior has a cause, it has a direction, it has a goal and an aim, and it wants a certain thing, and it's willing to fight for that. So that's a really positive energy if you can harness that and use it for your benefit. We have the Nine of Cups, the Empress, and the Lovers. All three of these cards came out in the last reading as well. And I think it's really beautiful actually, because the last reading was all about love and open-heartedness, and this reading is turning out to be like that, about that as well, but coming from the position of the Warrior. So the last reading I felt was very Libra-oriented reading. I've already mentioned Libra, that Mars is in Libra. We also now have the Empress out, who is ruled by Venus, who rules Libra. So there's this Libra energy, but with the Warrior card, it's also representing Aries. You can see there's even a ram, there's ram horns on the card. So there's this Libra Aries energy for you, pile number 3. This is about relationships and how we relate to other people and how we relate to the world. So this could be literally about your lovers, past, present, or future partnerships, relationships. The Venus retrograde has been bringing a lot of focus on relationships. Okay, so this could be about how you're relating to other people, if there's conflict or if you have goals and aims. Nine of Cups is a card of wish fulfillment. It's a card of asking for something and it becoming true, of being worthy of your creations, being worthy of your desires. It's a card of desire. Okay. And that's what I was talking about with the warrior. The warrior has a desire and is willing to fight to have that desire seen. I can see that you are creating, the Empress, you're creating something for yourself that really is really heartfelt. That's that Venus retrograde energy. I highly recommend you go and watch my Venus retrograde video. I did a tarot card reading for each zodiac sign, and it tells you how to utilize this energy. It tells you how to harness it and manage it. Particularly if you are feeling in conflict, it will tell you how to undo a lot of that conflict and come into this kind of space where your heart's desires are manifesting out into reality, out into the world for yourself, so that you are creating. We have Queen of Wands and the Nine of Coins. This is this beautiful Leo energy. Queen of Wands being the card of Leo, the Empress being the card of Venus. That Venus retrograde in Leo has been all about activating and opening our heart space, allowing ourselves to be heart-led, to follow our heart's desires, to follow what our heart is calling us towards. It's kind of switching off the mind and making the mind take a back seat. I've just said all of this to pile number 2 as well. So there's a lot of consistency between this pile and pile number 2. So go and watch that video if you feel drawn to doing that too, that pile number 2. So this is about opening your heart and being confident in following your heart's lead, confident that your heart knows what you need at this time and is able to create that for you. The heart, when the heart is closed, when the heart is shut down, we have no access to creativity. We have no access to creative solutions. We have no access to our ability to manifest and co-create with the universe when we are operating just from the mind and we have no heart energy. So this Venus in Leo retrograde was opening the heart for everybody, and particularly the people who were engaged in that consciously and allowed their heart space to be opened. They were moved into this space of confidence, into this space of creativity. This Queen of Wands is co-creating with the universe. She's creating magic in her hands. She's using her life force energy, her fire in her belly, and creating something new, creating something that brings her a lot of joy, a lot of pleasure. She's bringing forward her heart's desires. This may be on a materialistic level, 9 of Coins, manifesting and creating wealth, manifesting and creating self-sufficiency, being able to contain yourself and manage yourself and feeling really good about where you're at in life. You've had to fight to get there, the warrior, and here you are and you're being rewarded. Now it may be about a person, another person, and this is about maintaining yourself in that relationship, keeping your heart open. It's like this beautiful balance between keeping your heart open to the other person but not losing yourself in that relationship. I think that you're doing a really good job on that, pile number 3. And we have the Tower. There's that conflict. Oh, and we got the 3 of Swords in reverse on the bottom of the deck. So the 3 of Swords in reverse came out in pile number 1 as well. There's this needing to mend the heart. So that could be the conflict that's coming up for you during this time. There could be this really beautiful heart-opening experience that's taking place this week, but then at the same time there's a little bit of this resistance coming from your heart space because of past wounds, past traumas needing to be mended. With the 3 of Swords in reverse, there is the ability now to mend that, to heal that, to soften and release this warrior type energy in order to come into alignment more with an open heart space. The Tower does indicate that there could be a time of chaos or a time of breaking down of structures during this week. So you may be in that really pivotal moment of breaking down some pretty major structures in your life, particularly on the internal level. So your belief systems with the Mercury retrograde in Virgo that started on August the 24th and will continue until September 16. I've done a video on that one as well. I'll link that down below too. That is trying to unravel some of your belief systems and unravel some of our automatic thinking, automatic thought processes for the purpose of uplifting them. So you may feel there may be a moment during this week where you're shocked to find that you're holding beliefs or that you're holding limiting automatic thought processes that can be uplifted, that are keeping you separated, that are keeping you stuck away from this heart space. So that's a way that this can manifest for you during this time. Being aware that the tower is a very necessary part to our growth and our expansion. So even if it does feel a little scary, it is the step towards this true desire, your true desires manifesting in reality. It's a step towards you being able to create and manifest what you're trying to create and manifest for your life. We have go the distance. So really telling you not to give up. If this tower moment does knock you off your axis, knock you out of alignment with your heart's desires, we will constantly, like this evolutionary process, this personal development process, it comes in waves and ebbs and flows, and sometimes we're great at it, sometimes we're not. Things happen, tower moments happen, they knock us off our axis, we have to start again, we default, blah blah blah. Like there's this ongoing expansive evolutionary process to this. So when you get knocked off your axis, or if you get knocked off your axis, it's not a bad thing. It's not something to be upset about. It just depends on how long you're going to stay in that mode, or how quickly you can shift back into your alignment. So with going the distance, meaning if you are knocked off your axis, don't give up. Don't let yourself default back to your original settings. You're nearly there. You're doing the work. Every time you pull yourself back, you do a little bit better. We do go step by step. Just keep going. And this week is time to surrender your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. So that could be the tower moment that comes up for you this week, is that things are going really well. You feel like things are progressing. You've got this desire. You're trying to manifest these results. And you may have a setback. This tower could be a setback in that. But the cards are telling you, even if you have a setback, to keep going, okay? Without an attachment to the results. So a lot of the times when we have a desire, 9 of Cups, we create the image of that desire in our imagination, right? So we create it in our imagination first, and then we create it in the physical reality second. But most of the time, almost 100% of the time, the desired results, the results that we manifest, don't look the same as what we imagined. And so often we can miss the fact that we have actually manifested our desires because it doesn't look like how we thought it would look. But if you deliberately be aware of the underlying feeling signature that comes up for you when you engage in these experiences, you will start to recognize the tone. It's the tone that you're manifesting, and start to become a little bit more open and flexible to the results being different, as long as the feeling is the same, okay? So that's why it's really important to not have an attachment to the results. Now, I did say to you at the beginning that a warrior has a goal, it has an aim, it has a drive that it's moving towards, that it's willing to fight for. So that is still true. You still have that goal, you still have that aim, but instead of being attached to how that's actually going to look in your reality, bring it back to how it's going to feel. Focus all of your awareness on the feeling signature, on the heart space emotion, allowing your heart to lead you, because your heart knows better than your mind, it knows better than your brain about what will serve you and what will feel the way you want it to feel in the end. Take time to tune into your body and recognize the messages it's trying to send you. So the body is the unconscious mind, and when we tune into the unconscious processes and unconscious mind with the Mercury retrograde, we have the ability to bring the unconscious into the conscious. We have the ability to look at these things that are creating these tower moments that are causing you to be attached to your results and that are causing you to feel separated, that need to be healed, need to be mended, need to be stitched back together. When we bring that into the conscious, we can actually apply our wisdom, we can apply our knowledge to it, and we can make changes that last. We can make lasting changes. So that all resides in the physical body, that all resides in your body. So your feelings, your physical well-being, your health, all those kinds of things are really important to watch this week, to identify these places where you can make these adjustments, remembering not to give up, remembering to continue to bring peace and ease to those spaces, because they are messages. They're messages about where you can make those shifts. So that is your reading for this week, pile number 3. I'm really hopeful for you that this tower moment can just be a blip, and that you can realign yourself, recenter yourself, and keep your heart set on the outcome, heart set on the desires, heart set on the goals, and that you can magnetize the results to you through your heart space, your heart center. I really do appreciate your time here with me. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. And yeah, I'll link the Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde down below. Go and watch those. They'll be very helpful for you this week. And I really look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care.